Why is it so hard to just be able to come out and say Wakanda Forever isn't good? This is an article from Vulture, and I'm shocked to see it, to be honest, because usually everyone in these legacy media platforms usually kind of walk lockstep. So this is why it's shocked to see it, because it's true. If you say this movie isn't good, usually labeled as some kind of istophobe. So it's kind of funny to see them actually say this, to be honest. It's from a podcast or something, but it's right. It's funny. I want to show you another funny thing that nobody in the media is calling out, which is kind of interesting. Disneyland is celebrating Black Panther Wakanda Forever with food from its imaginary world. Do you want to know what kind of food that they're selling? Look at this. You can get your chicken that's grilled to the point where it almost looks like it's fried chicken, and purple drink. That's right. It's a lemonade with a purple drink like added to it. Looks like a purple drink. This doesn't get called out. Imagine, this is just because it's Disney too, by the way, and they own so much media. I think it's one of the reasons why they never get called out for bullshit like this, but this should be called out. All these outlets that see racism in everything don't see it in this. I mean, this is kind of legit. Flavors of Wakanda, chicken and purple drink. I mean, if this was anybody else, if this wasn't Disney, there'd be a million articles on this. I just want to point that out. Now, other than that, there hasn't been much going on with Black Panther until I saw this, which was kind of unsurprising considering how things go when it comes to stuff like this. Apparently, people are mad about the Latinos in the movie and that they're too dark. So according to Vox, there's an uproar of colorism now in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So I guess in Mexico, a TV station, Mexico ADN 40, complained that the movie focuses on darker Latino actors, and it's discriminating against lighter-skinned ones. It seems kind of ridiculous to me. I think he looks fine. I don't have a problem with the actor. The problem is he's just not Namor. Namor has a very specific origin. First off, he's from Atlantis, but I guess they didn't want to use that because DC Aquaman used Atlantis, which I think is stupid because nobody owns the rights to Atlantis. They should have just used Atlantis and went with his origin. Could have made him Asian. It doesn't matter. What matters is they took the character and made him completely unrecognizable to what he is in the books. I'm talking about his origin, his home, the character itself. So this one is kind of confusing to me. I've talked about this subject before. It just seems dumb to fight about these kinds of things. And I guess this is, at least according to Vox, so who knows? Apparently there's a lot of people discussing this. It just seems ridiculous to me. I think we should all just agree that this isn't Namor. It's Namor. But a lot of just really strange things. I personally think that this flavors of Wakanda is more offensive than anything. And there's not one article calling this out. In fact, they're celebrating it, saying it's amazing. Anyway, let's talk about John Leguizamo, who refuses to go away. I'm now convinced that this guy is begging for work. And what I mean by that is when someone in Hollywood really just jumps on a soapbox and complains about woke stuff and representation in the amount that he does. And he's been crying about the Mario Brothers movie all year. He says he's not bitter, yet every time he gets a chance and he's interviewed, he whines about not being casted in the movie, or the fact that Mario isn't played by a person of color, which my response is Mario is a short, fat Italian man. Then, like, if anything, it should be, if you want to go by the woke standards, then he should be played by a short, fat Italian man, but that's not what happens. I personally, when it comes to voice work, may the best person for the role get it. If you want to do colorblind casting with voice acting, honestly, that makes a lot of sense because you can't see the person doing the voice. It should be the best voice that gets the character, the voice that matches up the most. But, of course, in Mario's case, he already has a voice actor. He's been doing the voice since the Nintendo 64. But that's another conversation. John Leguizamo, of course, played Luigi in the original Super Mario Brothers movie, which is an awful movie, and he looked out of place in that movie. Bob Hoskins was good. He was actually good casting for Mario. John Leguizamo was an awful, awful Luigi. Looks nothing like Luigi at all, and it made no sense at the time, and it still doesn't make sense. But the movie is so bad that it's somewhat entertaining. You just kind of have to think of it as not a Mario movie. But anyway, he's not complaining about Mario today. Now he's complaining about Thanksgiving. This is why I think he's begging for it. And if you think about it, what have you seen him in lately? You haven't really seen him in anything. I can't think of the last John Leguizamo movie that I've seen. I mean, I've watched an older one. I recently watched Carlito's Way, the 4K version that came out, and that's a great movie. But when these celebrities do this, like today or the other day, he said, F Thanksgiving, Happy Indigenous Survivors Day. Which I'll never stop saying Thanksgiving. I'll never stop saying that. But John Leguizamo has been doing this, and I think it's to get noticed so that he can get some work. It's like, hey, remember me? I used to be in all kinds of movies. Would you please hire me? Would you please give me some form of work? Because, let's face it, his career is kind of washed up. So I think one of the reasons why he's doing this is to get work. Carlito's Way, fantastic movie, by the way, if you've never seen it. But he's been whining. Like, here was another one where he's whining about James Franco playing Fidel Castro. He's been on a roll lately. And I think it's because he's not getting work. That's the reason why. He's begging for work. That's what this is. I call these kinds of things like this that he's doing right here, I call this job application, because that's essentially what he's doing, and he won't stop. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Check out my Rumble and my locals. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.